Craig, thank you for your time. Welcome to this great club of ours. Someone has said to you 10 days ago, you'll be assistant coach of this club, back working in the Premier League. What would you have said?
I'd have been surprised, but I think when you've been in football as long as I have and other people have, sometimes you never get surprised, and pleasantly surprised I was at the call. Delighted to be here. We know it's going to be a big challenge, but thank you for welcoming me.
Did it come out of nowhere?
Yes, had the phone call from Nigel once he was appointed. I was the usual week of walking the dog, trying to get back in, and really grateful for the opportunity.
I asked Nigel the same question, and I'll be repetitive and ask you the same one. Where were you when he called you? I
was at home. I think it was on an evening when it just happened and announced. So at home with my feet up, watching a bit of telly with a cup of tea, and as I say, took me totally by surprise. You know, when I turned to my wife and said, "You never guess who that is?" Well, it's the new Watford manager, and he's asked me to join him.
Did you think when the phone rang, oh, what does he want?
No, Nigel's he can be. You can talk to him on a regular basis or monthly, and you're never quite sure what it's going to do. So I wasn't quite sure what the phone call was about, but obviously you got to the point very quickly.
Was it like, let's get the band back together, let's do it again?
Well, I think it was about the opportunity. You're never quite sure when you've been out of when that opportunity is going to come again, at what level. Thankfully, it's a Premier League job, and you know, I couldn't wait to get started again. I had to go into the garage and find my boots and find my whistle, my stopwatch, but was raring to go.
How appealing is the challenge here?
Well, it is a challenge, and it's a big challenge, but what I've been pleasantly surprised about really in the last couple of days is the quality, the players' application and attitude, and when you've got that aligned with then some structure and some self-determination and drive, and we aim to give it our best shot, and we have to be competitive. We know it's a tough league. We know that the boys haven't started well, but there's room for improvement.
Got a hugely impressive CV at this level. Do you still feel though you've got a bit of unfinished business at this level?
I don't know whether I'd call it unfinished business, because I think you have to do the best to your ability at any given time in any given appointment. As I say, I'm really thankful for the club, for the owner, for the club in general, the board, for Nigel for giving me the opportunity, and I want to grasp it with both hands. I'm excited. I want to be passionate when the time's on, but also I've got quite a balanced outlook that I know what's required, and it's then transmitting that to the players, the squad, and hopefully the fans then start getting behind the team and we climb the league. When
Nigel called, was it let me go and think about it, or was it, yeah, when do I start, Nigel?
No, it wasn't much thinking about it. Once we went into negotiations, it was done very, very quickly. So didn't really have to think too hard about it.
Your relationship with Nigel is well documented. How far do you go back? Is it all the way back to Sheffield Wednesday?
That's our first contact as players. I think that is in 1860, was it? You're going to remind me. But it was a while ago, and he was a captain of the Sheffield Wednesday team I played in. We never socialised, but we had a good respect for each other. It was only then when he came to West Bromwich Albion with Brian Robson, I was a coach there, that we hit it off a bit more, kept in touch, and then when we became Leicester manager in the First Division, he invited me along as assistant there, and that's when the relationship grew and prospered.
As players, he was a bit of a no-nonsense centre-half. You were, was it left midfield?
I don't know whether that's compliment to me or compliment to him, but yeah, we were both footballers, and yeah, he was a no-nonsense centre-back. He used to give it to the footballers in front of him.
Like yourself?
Well, not just me, John Sheridan, people like that, but yeah, you needed them types, the grit and determination of which obviously we need at the moment.
Were you very much on the same wavelength from the off?
No, I think we're both our own people. When you say the same wavelength, I think in any given job, there's an order of hierarchy, of course, and respect, but I also think that sometimes you're there for a reason to give your opinions, and as long as you're giving them reasons for the right reason, and sometimes you can be tactful with it. So we're not the same type. We want to win. I think that's the biggest thing. We want players to express themselves. So in terms of the environment that we try and create, we're both on the same wavelength of that.
Is there a good cop, bad cop?
It possibly could be. You'd have to ask the players that. But again, we are our own people, and I won't change my personality really too much. Nigel won't change his, and we are who we are.
I think we're very fortunate to have you on the staff here, given your pedigree. You've been at Leicester, West Brom, Everton, with England. What are your touchstones as a coach, Craig?
Well, I think being inclusive is one of the main things for me. It's about getting connections with players. Sometimes it's getting into their personalities and saying they need to do more. So it's not always a positive. It might be you're not in the team because of this. But I think the connections and the communication with the players, nowadays man management is vitally important. I think the information you give the players, I think they crave that. So they want information. I want to help them and give them information. But I also want to be a winner. You play football, I want to be on that winning team. I want teams to enjoy training, players to enjoy training, but even in a small-sided game, I want them to win.
Just on the subject of relationships, we've just noticed around the canteen how personable you've all been, how authentic it's all been in the canteen, sitting next to players, shaking their hand, asking them how they're doing. Has that been a real conscious effort to come in and win a few hearts and minds?
Not really. It's something we've done everywhere. For me, it's manners and politeness are very, very big. You meet someone of a morning, it's shaking the hand and saying hello. I think to create, I've mentioned about the environment, to create the environment, you've got to be open. And for me, I don't mind what table I sit in. There's no order. I want the place to be a nice place and an environment, but a winning environment. And I think that inclusiveness I was talking about creates that.
You've been a number one and a number two. Would you pigeonhole yourself as either?
No, I wouldn't. I'm definitely know my job here, my role, and it is to assist Nigel and to try and take the club forward. But I'm not ruling anything out in the future, because I'll enjoy this one, see where it takes us, and hopefully it takes us up the league.
We've got a nice British core to the group, now British coaching staff. Are you really looking to mobilise those lads?
Well, I think to that is whatever the squad is, whatever nationalities you try and work with. Yes, we've got the British core in there, British managers, but I also enjoy coaching foreign players because they actually teach you new things in terms of their interpretation of training sessions. So I'm quite looking forward to the varied nationalities and actually learning something from them type of players as well.
Troy Deeney's the heartbeat of this place, this club. Know him from before?
Yes, tried to sign him on a few occasions, and I said to Troy when I came, I said, well, if the mountain won't, the mountain won't come to you, I'll have to come to you, type of thing. And yes, I've known of him for a while, seen his career prosper, even since the days of non-league, and then he went to Warsaw, where we both played for a time. Me a lot of years before him, but kept an eye on his career.
Has he mentioned that goal yet? Being Troy probably has.
I don't know which goal you're on about. No, he hasn't. But I remember it as if it was tomorrow. It was a very surreal moment, but one that, at the time, you could see the hysteria that took over the club, and you understood why.
You did it at Leicester in 2014-15, 7 wins and a draw from your last 9 from memory. What was the secret and the key to getting out of the hole then?
I think it was we had a balance then of, we had decent performances. Yes, we tweaked the formation slightly, and it enabled us to go on that. But even without a tweak in formation, because we're always looking at availability, injuries, those sort of things. But I think that team spirit and that togetherness and that determination to try and get results will stand us in good stead.
Is the formula repeatable here?
I think it's repeatable wherever you go, because it's never over till mathematically. you have to still keep going. You know, you're thinking of the points and it's a couple of wins, and all of a sudden momentum is massive in football. If you can get that momentum going, you can get a bit of belief, a bit of confidence. But I'm saying confidence, I've seen training this week, and as I said to you, I've been really pleasantly surprised with the level of commitment and confidence to actually manage the ball and try and do some of the things we're suggesting. So yes, it's definitely capable.
Well, it's a real pleasure to have you here, and we wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you.
Click here for more videos.